Architectural Builder Supply is pleased to present you with this recording of the technical question that is listed in the title of this video.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Sturdy doors on his building. I'm sure they're pretty old. And he wanted me to refurb them, get them going. He's selling the building. I tried selling him new doors, and he goes, just do what you can with the old ones. And so I was taking the hinges off, and on the door, the hollow core door, the bracket that's supposed to be tack welded into the hollow core frame kind of just fell. And I've taken this door, I've turned it upside down. It won't rattle, it won't nothing. I can't find this thing. I need to get a hold of this bracket and get a new one in there, which sounds like a tall order. I have pictures, but what can we do here? You have any ideas?
Well, what bracket is it that fell out?
It's the one that's got the screw holes for the hinge, commercial grade hinge.
Okay.
Yeah. I think it's a number 12, 20 something threaded metal bracket that is, I'm sure, tack welded or held in there somehow.
Spot welded generally. So Amweld's been out of business for a decade. If what you need is a replacement hinge reinforcement, which is what that part is called, I can certainly sell you one.
Okay. Well, this is a job in progress, and I don't know if you have any. Do you know anybody in Michigan that can sell me one? I mean, where are you at?
Southern Florida. No to the former, Southern Florida to the latter.
Oh, okay. How quick can we get me one of those here? I mean, what kind of project is this?
You can ship any way you want. You want to, put it on an airplane and have it tomorrow? That's done.
Oh, well, let's find out how much one of these brackets is going to cost me first, and
the bracket
what
might
you
be
suggest.
$10. The cost to ship it's probably going to be $100 is the problem, because you got 1,000 miles plus of jet fuel.
Okay. What about just a regular ground ship?
Oh, probably $12. Depends on where it's going to, but $12, $15, something like that.
Uh-huh. All right.
So how are you going to go about installing this plate when you get it?
Well, I used to be a tool maker, so I've got all kinds of tricks up my sleeves. I could temporarily attach it from the outside. I can drill me a small hole through it, get it inside. Hope I don't drop it again, make sure that don't happen.
Right.
I just can't believe I can't get the old one. I've taken it. It's a 100-pound door. I've taken it. I've turned it sideways. No noises, no nothing. That thing won't rattle around. It won't come out. It doesn't move. It went somewhere in this door because I heard it.
Yeah,
making me insane.
Right. So you're going to drill a hole, but enlighten me. I'm a guy who's spent a lot of time welding and working on doors. What is your plan of attack?
Okay. To get my hands on a bracket.
Yeah, but once you get it, how are you going to get it? How are you going to get it in the door?
Well, I got to make sure I got a good hold of it with something to make sure I don't drop it again.
Yeah, right.
And hopefully it's longer than hopefully it is longer than the pocket. Let's see, the pocket is 4.5 inches tall for a 4.5 inch. I'll need a piece of the bracket, whether those it's dog-eared on the sides or on the top and bottom. I got to find out what you have first, and then I have to work with whatever it is you would send me.
Right on. So here's what I would do. You're going to get the plate.
Okay.
You're going to take your hinge, and you're going to loosely attach your hinge to it, because your plate can fall down, but the plate ain't going to fall down when it's loosely screwed to the hinge. Then,
I like that.
When you get the plate inside the door, tighten up another screw, tighten up the first screw, add a second screw. Now you got a handle. I would drill through everything, and I would plug weld.
What'd you call it?
Plug weld, when you drill a hole and then you fill that hole with weld. And plug welding is helpful when you are welding materials of disparate thicknesses. Your plate's going to be 7 gauge. Well, you're probably going to have a total of not more than 16 gauge on the edge of that door, maybe less. The other thing you can do is abandon that hinge location. It's the top hinge, right?
No, it's the middle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you're not going to want to abandon that, but if you could simply abandon the hinges and install a continuous gear hinge. You know, a hinge like that's probably $125. It's going to be, depending on if the frame is packed with mortar, it could be less labor. But if you don't have the ability to weld, then it changes the game plan. You could drill and tap
Right.
and then countersink holes into the edge like you'd see in an aluminum storefront construction. That's a way that people do it as well.
Right. This is in the hollow core door, not the hollow core frame.
Yeah.
So,
It's in the frame.
okay. Yeah. Or no, the door, not the frame.
Okay.
All right. So, well, everything you said as far as using a hinge for a handle, I love that part. That's all. That'll work just fine.
Yeah.
So, and then to make sure it doesn't happen again, I got to find a way to. Are you talking about some kind of an epoxy material? I mean, this is something I do all. This isn't something I do real regular. This is a special occasion, man.
What do you mean, holding the plate onto the door?
Well, you use the word weld, and I when I think of weld, I think of sparks and electricity and things like that.
That's the sense that we're using it in. Yes, sir. That's what I'm talking about. MIG welding would be the way to go about with that.
Okay.
If you don't have any secure way to make sure that plate's down really tight, like welding it, and as a real bad retreat from welding it, screwing it, I would consider not repairing the door and selling your guy continuous hinges. The first one I ever did took me 1 hour, but that was aluminum storefront, meaning think of a piano hinge, but a surface mount version. If you've got mortar packed in those jams, now you got a problem drilling into that. Some people will use just tap cons. So you'd have $1.25 in your hardware. You'd have at least an hour and a half in labor, let's say. But you get a hinge that's guaranteed, and it is a really great fix. Using some sort of epoxy to hold that there, your people make, industrial grade, your Loctites of the world. They make stuff, but,
Okay.
You use the tool that you're familiar with. I'm familiar with welding.
Okay. The question I have for you is this repair part that goes inside this hollow car door. Is it taller than 4.5 inches? Is it like 5.5?
No, sir. It's 10 inch.
10 inch. Really? Hang on. Because there is where this door was put together. It's like a sandwich. There's no good flat surface inside to pull it up against.
Oh, okay? So what you have is there. So I've been to the Amweld plant many years ago. What you have are two pans that sit on top of each other. So the way that hinge plate was made is you're going to have to cut a long slot down the extended ears on either end to be able to get that to fit over those two pieces of steel that are brought together in what is basically two C channels put on top of each other.
That's what it looks like.
Yeah.
And so what do you got to do with that?
You have to cut a slot into the plate top and bottom so you can get it to fit over that. Yeah. That's
piece of cake. And how tall is this plate, did you say?
10 inch.
10. 4.5, 10. So a good couple inches north and south. Okay. I see what you're headed at. Okay, send me one.
Okay. Stand by one moment. We're going to do this. Okay, so.
All right.
Architectural Builders Supply hopes you have enjoyed this program.